After having studied the normal FA, we'll study a couple of diseases, and there's no intention to underplay the role of OCT here. FA we know is a useful tool for studying basically microvasculature, for picking up CNP areas which OCT cannot. So we'll study a couple of diseases without wasting much time. And good FA does require, I think there's a question about time, at least 5 to 7 minutes. Always don't jump to any conclusion with one frame. Study the whole FA before making a diagnosis and correlate with clinically. So here is a patient who has this photograph here. The diagnosis is very, very obvious. It's a CSR. Frankly speaking, in first attack of CSR, I do not advise any fluorescein angiography. The color photograph and OCT is good enough. However, if it's a chronic CSR, like you have here, it's a subretinal, there's some fibrin deposit here, or you are contemplating laser. This has been emphasized that you have this multiple leaks here, which are typical of CSR. This patient actually we lasered, and post-laser the angiogram, the photograph is here, and the OCT has come back, the SRF has absorbed. This is normal FA, which I think has been discussed, red-free photograph and early phases. Now what is this? This looks like a CSR picture. Any idea what? Can we ask some general ophthalmologists or even experts? This lesion here in the macula. You do this angiogram here, you see a typical notch here. Otherwise, this hyperfluorescence, the margins, as Dr. Shetty was emphasizing, you have to study the margins, are very well defined. So what we are dealing with is a RPED, retinal pigment epithelial detachment. So whenever you have hyperfluorescence...
Yeah. Lalit, can you use mouse, because this laser light is coming and... otherwise use that side.
It's not here actually. Mouse is not here. Mouse is not? Is a mouse here? Okay, till the time he comes up, we'll... So whenever you have hyperfluorescence, Dr. Shetty emphasized, pay attention to size, shape, intensity. If the margins are very, very sharp as in this, how do you come to the arrow? It's not working. This is another patient who has, you see, in the early phases, starting this leak here, and then typically assuming this umbrella shape, which is a typical leak of smokestack leak in CSR. This is after resolution, the same patient. In the acute phase, you may have umbrella, but later on it becomes an ink blot leak. We'll just skip this because we cover a lot of entities. This is another patient who was diagnosed as CSR, but you see this angiogram. There are multiple, starry kind of phenomena, hyperfluorescence patches. This is typical of Harada's disease, where you have multiple leakages like this, a starry phenomena in the fundus. Another patient who has this typical Harada's disease, multiple detachments. After treatment with steroids, this has come down to normal. This has already been discussed, typical flower petalloid appearance in a patient of cystoid macular edema. This gentleman had this color photograph, and early phase of angiogram shows a lacy hyperfluorescence which increases, the margins are getting blurred, hyperfluorescence is increasing. So any patient who has a macular lesion, pay attention to the margins, pay attention to the intensity, and if in subsequent phases both are increasing, you have to rule out CNVM. We'll just go through a couple of clinical pictures of CNVM. Here is a patient who has a hemorrhage here, and you see what happens in the early phase. There is a slight lacy hyperfluorescence here which increases, so it's typical of a classic CNVM. In dry RMD, what you will have is that there will be a window defect. There will be no increase in the hyperfluorescence with the subsequent phases. In a classic CNVM, the hyperfluorescence will begin very early, and this will increase the leakage from the margins of this hyperfluorescence. We'll just skip a couple of these slides. This is a patient who had a predominantly classic CNVM. This is after PDT. There was resolution, but you see the activity is still there. Here's another patient who has early phase, you see hyperfluorescence. This is juxtafoveal kind of CNVM, and after treatment only with the PDT and anti-VEGF injection, there is absolute no activity, and whatever you see on FA is just a window defect. So FA helps you to monitor this response. Apart from OCT, FA tells you that as of this does not have any activity. So FA has a role in ARMD also. Especially once you are doing a PDT, you need to measure that size. You need to distinguish between classic and occult membranes. Couple of other disorders, optic nerve disorders. Here's a gentleman who has this blurred margin of optic disc. There is some toxicity of vessels, and there's a filiform hemorrhage clinically. And OCT, what you see is that the upper sector is hypofluorescent, and in the late phase there is a leakage from the margin. So if you have a sectorial hypofluorescence, so you are dealing with a ischemic pathology, something of AIUN. Another example of AIUN, where you have a hypofluorescent disc here and hyper in the rest of the disc. This I'll skip because this is a typical patient of CRA. FA actually is not required, but we had to do it just for documentation. Coming to venous blocks, it's a typical venous block. Generally don't do FA in such situations, do only an OCT. This is a fresh patient of venous block. Not much information on angiography. OCT, although is very ballooned up. But once the patient has resolution of vitreous hemorrhage, these retinal hemorrhages, you see the wealth of information provided, a lot of non-perfusion areas and a lot of neovascular areas. So the whole management changes. So this patient does require laser treatment. Anti-VEGF alone would not work in such situation. So FA helps you in picking up ischemic areas and neovascular areas. Another patient of vascular block, you see here, there is a lot of non-perfusion areas. So this patient also will require both a treatment for macular edema also, plus attention to this area with the help of laser treatment. Another patient of actually bilateral vascular block, left eye as well as right eye, showing ischemic areas as well as new vessels at the junction of perfused and non-perfused retina. This one photograph was shown by Manish. Here is only angiography, no ICT, no ICG, which picks up this retinal artery macroaneurysm in this patient. You see early phases. This is blocked fluorescence. There is an initial hyper which increases. This is a retinal artery macroaneurysm, and this is the OCT of that patient. After pneumatically displacing this hemorrhage, most of the hemorrhage has gone down. In diabetic retinopathy, a lot of information you pick up by combined usage of OCT and FA, but FA primarily helps you to pick up these non-perfused CNP areas and neovascularization, which OCT cannot pick up. Although this patient has 6x6 vision, but if you have to plan proper management, you need information both from FA as well as OCT. FA is a very quick procedure. It can give you wealth of information in 5 minutes about the perfusion status of the retina, as well as pick up new oscillation in all the quadrants if they are there. This patient adequately lasered, but vision did not improve. So if you do an FA, it has a lot of ischemia here. So this tells you that this is the cause of decreased vision because of ischemic maculopathy here. This patient lasered, post-op FA, you see the inadequacy of laser. So this is not a proper scatter. You have a lot of neooscillation here and CNP areas here. So FA in post-laser patients helps you to tell you the adequacy of laser. So there is no rush to give anti-VEGF injection here. Although this patient was referred for anti-VEGF injection, but this patient requires a lot of laser, lot of good scatter laser is required. This patient had a lot of fundus findings, but you see on FA there is a very minimal focal leak in the upper temporal part, and after focal laser this goes away. So whenever you are contemplating focal laser in any condition, whether it is diabetic retinopathy or whether it is central serous retinopathy, FA is required, early phase FA is required to pick up these focal leaks and do appropriate focal laser. This gentleman had bilateral rubiosis. You see with the same fundus camera, by just positioning the position, just taking it back, you can document this rubiosis iridis very well. And after giving Avastin, the rubiosis virtually melts away within 1 or 2 days. And then the patient can be taken up for appropriate vitreous surgery. Coming to some inflammatory disorders, specifically choroiditis, you see clinically there is a yellowish lesion here. But on FA what you see is an early hypo patch here, and the same patch if you see in the late phase becomes hyper. So hypo and hyper mix means it's definitely an active kind of choroiditis. Compared to this patient, you see early phases, mid phase and late phases, there is no increase in the intensity of this fluorescence. So this patient has a resolved kind of choroiditis compared with this where this lesion intensity increased. So it helps you to monitor activity in patients who have choroiditis. You can do FA. This angiogram was again showed, was diagnosed as CSR, young lady. You study this FA. Early phases show a lot of these black dots, and what is happening is this intensity is increasing. So this typical kind of early hypo and late hyper you get in condition as AMPPE, acute multifocal placoid epitheliopathy. After virtually no treatment, all these lesions melt away. In vasculitis also, this patient has vasculitis. You see this perivascular cuffing here, and you see this FA. There is a neovascularization here, and there is a non-perfusion area. So this patient definitely requires laser treatment in this area. This is a patient who has an inflammatory kind of vascular block. Intense sheathing is there, and this is the FA pattern of this patient. FA may also be useful to study some of the tumors, like this patient has a swelling here just near the optic nerve, and this is the pattern on FA. And we did a combination of TTT plus focal laser, showed the resolution here. So FA is an extremely important tool. Along with OCT and detailed clinical examination, it gives you wealth of information. It may help you to diagnose some conditions. It may help you in management, especially the focal laser when you are contemplating. It may also help in prognostication of some of these conditions so that you can talk to the patient and tell whether this patient is going to improve or not. But believe me, the information on FA has to be used in combination with other investigations, procedures. But as was being shown, how to obtain a good quality, you should know what you are shooting at and don't shoot blindly. Thank you very much for your...
Lalit.
Thank you.